Boom. Richard Jewell's episode 7. So this one opens up. They're at an auction, and he's got his hand raised with the thing, but then it cuts to a week earlier, and Richard is talking to this guy. Seiji walks out. The guy walks away. They start talking. That guy asked Richard to buy. There's an auction coming up. There was a guy who owned a lot of expensive jewels, and he died. So all his jewels is going up for auction. So that guy asked Richard if he would buy this one jewel from him, the Buddha hand. It's like this green emerald looking Buddha hand, but it's jade. Seigi's like, yo, why don't that dude just buy it for himself? Well, that dude's banned because he's been so persistent on trying to buy it over and over again that they just banned him from the auction. So it's up to Richard and Seigi to get it. So they hit up this pre-auction area where they show off some of the things they'll be selling before the auction. And while they're there, they're looking at the Buddha hand. Is that what it's called? And Seigi sees like a shady guy walk by. Then when they're walking out, this dude named Shin sees Richard, and he calls him Lord Claremont, which isn't Richard's last name. But he's like, oh, what's up, motherfucker? And Richard's like, you got the wrong dude. He's like, no, I know that's you piece of shit. And he starts talking shit about about Richard. And the Seigi comes up. He starts telling him not to talk shit about Seigi. And then that dude laughs for way too long. And he's like, oh. He laughs for like a minute. That guy tells Seigi that he needs to stay away from Richard or bad things are gonna happen to him. They go to the side and they sit down and start talking. Richard tells him that his last name is Claremont, but because of reasons he changed it and he took his mentor's last name. Seigi starts, he gets a little riled up, and Richard's like, look, don't get riled up. And Seigi's, look, I like you, Richard, and I don't like when people pick on you. And that touches Richard. He's like, oh, you like me? Mm-hmm. And they talk for a minute. Then they go back and look at the jewel and then talk about how much money they got. They got 30 mil to try to get this gem. Then it cuts to the mean guy earlier. He's just driving away in a car, just menacingly. He's like, yeah, we're gonna win the shit out of that fucking gem. Cuts to the next day. They're going to the auction. Seigi's wearing a regular ass white t-shirt, and Richard shows up in a blue ass suit. They get in there. When they get in there, that mean dude Shin, he talks a little bit more shit to Richard, but Richard just brushes it off, and that kind of pisses him off. It pisses Shin off, and he walks away. So there's like mean guy jeweler. Like this is a whole jeweler society where there's some asshole ones, and we all kind of know each other. And it's like, oh, you're a fucking shit jeweler, whatever, bro. Then the auction starts, and the lady hits the gavel. She ain't holding the gavel right, man. She's holding it by the head. I don't know if they do that at auctions or some shit, but supposed to hold it by. There's a handle for a reason. Then the auction starts, and the way the auction works is everybody holds their hands up, and she says a price, and until she says a price you don't agree with, you keep your hand up. So she's all, yo, 5 million. Oh, 5 million too rich for my blood. You put your hand down. She keeps going up and up and up, and the limit's supposed to be 30 million, but then it gets past, like Seigi's holding the sign up. It gets past 30 million, and it's like them and Shin, and everybody's freaking out like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? It keeps going up and up and up until it gets too much money, and Shin puts his hand down. It's 45 million, and our heroes get the fucking thing, and they're walking away, and that Shin dude, he comes up, he's being real mean and talking more shit to Richard. Seigi gets in the way. He's like, look, man, you need to shut the fuck up. And that dude is like, look, hey, you need to not talk to me like that. Look, you keep hanging out with Richard. You deserve that shit. And he walks away with his arms all out and shit, like a fucking ridiculous person. Who's walking like that? Then it cuts to a room with that dude that looked kind of shady. Well, the old guy who died, that was his grandson. They really wanted to get the gem back. When he was a little kid, his granddad would show him that gem, and it would make him happy when he was sad. And he paid fucking $40 million for that. Richard covered the other $5 million, and he's expecting them to pay him back. Then they go out to dinner. At the dinner, Richard tells Seigi about his past a little bit, that some older person in his family died. I think he's in GradNet or some shit. I'm sorry for the misinformation, but somebody died, and he got some inheritance, and it really fucked up his whole family situation because of it. And that guy was trying to warn Seigi that bad things are gonna happen to him because bad things happen around Richard. And Seigi's all, who gives a fuck, man? That's stupid. And they just eat. It touches Richard. They end the meal. They're walking away from each other. And Richard tells Seigi, you better not regret telling me you like me, dog, because that's all I'm saying. Seigi's all, what you mean by that? And then the episode just ends. So peace out. Love you. See you later.